trap is baited.
What trap?
Oh, he's out there, Watson, watching and waiting. I think he'll attend Lady Georgina's funeral. If he does, I'm hoping that this special tribute from Roberta will be too much to resist.
You must not place Lady Roberta in any danger.
She will not be in any danger.
I'll be keeping a very close eye on her.
No, you will not be there, Watson. I have a special task for you of the utmost importance.
Love is the passion which endureth, which neither time nor absence cureth, which naught of earthly change can sever. Love is the light that shines forever. Its chain of gold, what hand can break it? Its deathless hold, what force can shake it? Mere passion aught of earth may sever, but souls that love, love on forever.
Lead the horses, Charles. We won't get home otherwise.
Yes, Your Grace.
Imogen, come on. Imogen? Imogen! Imogen, darling. Imogen! Imogen, darling. Imogen! 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 Imogen!
Imogen!
What is it? What's happened?
Another girl is missing.
It is Imogen Houghton. She's only 13, Mr. Holmes.
What news, Watson?
For God's sake, Holmes, at least let me get into the room before you start with your infernal interrogations.
Why do you reek of surgical spirit?
Try and get rid of the stench of that poor girl. It's revolting, Holmes. Is that Bach you're playing?
I prefer German music when I feel introspective.
Why are they looking inwards?
A young girl was snatched from the funeral.
No.
Right from under our noses.
Not Lady Roberta.
No. Imogen Hellhoughton, youngest daughter of Sir John and Lady Hellhoughton. She's only 13.
Oh, good God. Well, what made him go for someone so young?
Oh, I think it was purely opportunistic. He saw his chance and seized it. I should be very surprised if she differs physically from the other girls. So much for my trap. What do you got there?
I removed this stocking from the throat of Sarah O'Brien, pushed deep in her gullet.
So, the work of the same hand. All my instincts tell me she's close by. But as we have no possible means of telling where, we must possess our souls in patience. Did she get a clear view of him?
I have not been allowed to question her. She's in with the doctor. She is in a state of shock, as you can imagine, the poor mite.
Other lives, Lestrade, will certainly be lost if the killer is not found with all possible haste. It is a remarkable stroke of good fortune that this girl has lived to tell the tale.
The telling will have to wait.
Damn it, Lestrade! I cannot make bricks without clay.
Holmes, I have to say, were I the family physician, I would recommend rest. A shock to the system of this kind can lead to a lowering of the blood pressure.
Yes, Watson, I understand all about shocks to the system. Is it not possible to argue that it is good to talk through such a traumatic experience while it is still fresh, before it has a chance to fester, with a sensitive, professional person?
You would listen for 30 seconds and then start cross-questioning her.
I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about an extremely kind, considerate female psychiatrist of my acquaintance.
And who on earth is that?
We have found the American Lady Porkpacker. She is now Lady Marham.
Why did she dismiss Sarah O'Brien?
She thought she was stealing her clothes. Well, if not stealing them, at least taking them and wearing them.
What sort of clothes?
Undergarments, stockings, shoes.
Mrs. Vandeleurs on her way.
Presumably, for a month or two, Sarah O'Brien worked alongside Lord Marham's staff.
And there's a list here.
Charles Allen. Lord Marham's footman at the time of Sarah's dismissal. Charles Allen. Now the Duchess of Narborough's footman.
Can you be sure it's the same man?
Even if it is, it makes no odds.
Oh, how do you work that out, Inspector?
He has a watertight alibi, Holmes.
Really, Watson, you are scintillating this morning.
On the night that Lady Alice went missing, he was at a formal dinner with the Duchess in plain view of 100 guests. When Lady Georgina was abducted, again he was with the Duchess.
There should be no combination of events for which the wit of man cannot conceive an explanation. Bring him in for questioning, Lestrade. Bring him in now.
Here she is.
I've taken the liberty of jotting down a few questions.
I can't promise anything, Sherlock, except I will put the girl's psychological well-being first.
Of course. But pay particular attention to point 3.
He grabbed me from behind. He had a cloth that was soaked with some horrid stuff over my mouth and nose. I tried to call out, but I couldn't. He was dragging me backwards through the graves. I must have passed out.
What's the next thing you can remember?
Then he removed my blindfold.
Did you see his face?
I wanted to talk to you about a time you spent as footman working for Lord Marham. Do you remember a young girl, Lady Marham's personal maid, Sarah O'Brien?
Yes, I do.
She was dismissed from Lady Marham's service.
I believe so.
Do you have any idea why?
No.
Do you know what became of her?
Yes, I do. She committed suicide. It was in the newspapers and the staff talked about it.
Do you have any idea why she would take her own life?
No.
He had a pair of stockings in his hand. He put one round my neck and knotted it.
Really, I don't think...
He pushed the other stocking into my mouth.
This is too much for her, surely.
Why did you leave Lord Marham's employ?
I was offered employment by the Duke of Narborough. I accepted the offer.
How was it you came to the Duke's attention?
I attended Lord Marham on a number of occasions when the Duke of Narborough was also present.
And you caught his eye?
I really don't know.
Or was it the Duchess's eye? It is the Duchess you serve, is it not?
Yes, Holmes, it is.
It is a small point, but perhaps you would give me my prefix when you address me. Otherwise, with my line of work, I should find myself on familiar terms with half the villains in London.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. It is the Duchess I serve.
He showed me the clothes he had for me. He kept saying how beautiful I'd look in them. He started to undress me. He took off my dress. I was standing. He knelt at my feet. He removed my shoes. And he...
I think we should stop now. Did he hold the shoes in his hands? Did he stroke them? Kiss them?
Do you know a shop called Bilney's? They are shoe and boot makers.
No.
It's where Sarah O'Brien worked after she left service.
Is it?
Where does Her Grace go for her footwear?
Calstocks and Piccadilly.
How does she like her boots to be tied? Side, front, or back?
The front.
He rolled down my stockings. Down to my ankles. He put his mouth on my toes. He took hold of my stockings in his teeth and pulled. He pulled the left one off. He did the same with the right. All of a sudden, he was in a fury. Oh, he was shouting at me. He dragged me out of the room, up some stairs and out into the street. I still had the stocking in my mouth. I thought I was going to choke.
Stand up, please. Be so kind as to put your foot on there for me. Thank you. You've been most helpful. I'm going to ask a police officer to take your fingerprints.
They've already been taken.
Yes, but there was a problem. I should like them done again. You can have no objection.
No.
Good. Wait here.
She saw him. She's giving one of Lestrade's men a description.
Splendid.
She's had the narrowest of escapes. It was not as bad an ordeal, I think, as it might have been.
Why did he let her go, do you think, given that she can identify him?
I don't know. Perhaps even he balked at the idea of harming a 13-year-old?
No, it is not that. The clothes would fit her perfectly. There's something else. I'm afraid we need to be granted one more favor.
I can describe Imogen's feet for you, Doctor.
It is important, Lady Hellhoughton, for us to see for ourselves.
May I?
Thank you, Imogen. Thank you, Lady Hellhoughton.
Surgeon has done an excellent job. Thank you.
That deformity and that alone is the reason she was released. Talipes carcinovalgus?
Talipes virus, I should say.
Which is?
Clubfoot.
Excuse me. Thank you again for your cooperation.
May I go now?
Certainly.
Excuse me.
Someone will need to escort you from the building. Red tape. Come along.
Surely I came in that way.
No, this way. I think we can call that a positive identification.
Call it what you like.
That was really quite a cruel thing to do, Sherlock.
Possibly. But to my mind, justified.
Sir, these are the latest Charles Allen fingerprints.
You took these this morning?
15 minutes ago, sir.
It doesn't match, Holmes. We know he was with the Duchess when Imogen Hellhoughton was abducted from the graveyard. We know he was attending the Duchess in front of 100 dinner guests when Lady Alice was taken. The Hellhoughton girl has been through a terrible ordeal. She cannot be in her right mind. It must be a case of mistaken identity. You have nothing against the man, Holmes, nothing at all.
Sir. Duke and Duchess of Marlborough here to see you, sir.
What?
Is my footman free to leave now?
Yes, he is, and I should like to apologise, Your Grace, for the trouble we've put you.
No trouble, Inspector. Merely a small inconvenience.
Where were you last night, Your Grace?
Answering questions put to me by Inspector Lestrade is one thing. Responding to your impertinent snooping, quite another.
May I remind Your Grace, it was your husband who called upon me in my Baker Street rooms.
Yes, well, perhaps you would be kind enough to call upon me in Eaton Square, and we can settle the matter. I no longer wish you to act on my behalf.
As Your Grace pleases.
What? You imagine no one else can solve this case? What monstrous egotism.
This way.
There's nothing more stimulating than the case where everything turns against you.
Wouldn't the most sensible thing be to keep all the blasted debutants under lock and key until this fiend is caught? Or at least to the fog lips.
Eminently sensible, Watson, but you're forgetting one thing.
And what is that?
There can be no interference with free trade. Daughters must be married off. Thank you, Mrs. Van der Leur, for your help.
I don't know if I should have been involved at all.
Oh, really? Well, we live and learn.
What do you want? You're scaring me. Why are you hit like this?
I needed to see you without your father knowing. Roberta, do you have the courage to bait a trap to catch your sister's killer? I understand you have made shoes recently for Lady Roberta Massingham.
Yes, I have.
I want you to make a pair of shoes for her. I need them for tonight.
Tonight?
Good evening, Your Grace. Good evening, Your Lordship.
Dr. Watson, how are you?
Very well.
Where's Mr. Holmes?
I wish I knew. I was due to meet him here.
Monsieur Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
The second highest criminal expert in Europe.
May I inquire, Your Excellency, who has the honor to be first, in your view?
To a man of a precisely scientific mentality, the work of Monsieur Bertillon must always have a very strong appeal.